God. And we know that many of our listeners have a dream to be married, have a dream to be in a relationship, have a dream to be married yesterday, actually. And we know that Paul says marriage is a gift and singleness is a gift. And we know that you wrote the book. It's one of my favorite books to kind of point people to, is called Swipe Right. And a lot of our listeners are single, like that desire is there. Some of them think that they're too old to get married now, or they've missed it and they're only 25, which is a complete lie, right? They feel like they're falling behind. So we know that one of our favorite topics to lean into is relationships. And thinking of the Swipe Right book that you have written, what has God taught you about the insight for dating, sex, and marriage done well in the context of a New Testament, mindset?
So good. Yeah, funny that you just said that singleness is a gift and so is marriage. Singleness is just the gift that it's like when you get that gift and you open it, you're like, thanks. You like grit your teeth, like, oh, you shouldn't have. Like the single person's like, God, yeah, wow, singleness is a great gift, God, but I hope you kept the receipt because it's not a gift I want to keep, or like the awkwardest one is like you re-gift a gift, but you accidentally like give it to someone who wears it around the person who bought it, whatever. Yeah, it's hard. It's always easier to spot the blessing of a season when you're not in it anymore.
So true.
Yeah.
Married people will tell you like, hey, like there's a lot of beauty and joy in being single, but when you're in it, it's hard to see it. Just like when you have children that are young, you're tempted to wish they were in school, and then they get out of the house, and you look back and you go, dang, I wish I had those kids still here. The age that your young kids are in, the age my young kids are in. Jenny and I are interesting because we have an old child who's 16, just about to get her driver's license, and we have a 4-year-old who's still sleeping in pull-ups, So it's like, we're kind of like, wow, we're the old parent and we were the young parent. So we have the luxury now, I would say, of doing it again, because we didn't expect to have another child, of looking back at the young season where you're stepping on Legos, where, you're just never getting sleep, nightmares, all that stuff, and going, but there's actually a beauty in it, and it goes so fast. So I guess I would just say to the single person, like, marriage and sex, if God, has that in your heart, he didn't do that to toy with you.
Yep.
Meaning, I don't believe God gives the calling of celibacy, but then still puts a dream of marriage in your heart. Like, God's not screwed up like that. You know what I mean? He wouldn't toy with you. So if he's giving you that calling, that desire, we can believe that he's going to give us the desires of our heart as we delight ourselves in him, as scripture says. So, Augustine said, follow God and do whatever you want. I really believe there's permission in God's will to where if you're walking with Jesus, if you're, planted in the local church, if you're doing those things, tithing and praying, all the things we're supposed to be doing, I believe if you still have a desire for marriage, that's from God then, and it's going to happen in his perfect timing. So the only thing I would say is, don't open your gifts before Christmas, to settle and compromise. I can't imagine how discouraging it would be as a kid if you found where your parents hid your presents, open them all up. Christmas Day would just be so depleting. And that marriage, when it comes, it's supposed to be like that great joy. So just hold out, and it's going to be worth it.
I love that you write in Swipe Right, now yells louder, but later lasts longer. And I think